Joining us now is humorist and author of More Information Than You Require, a man who is an expert in fake facts, John Hodgman. John, it is great to see you. What are you doing?
A vampire! What? Oh, no, you're not a vampire. But I never did notice that you have I Hate USA tattooed on your eyelids. I heard someone say that on television once.
You know, and on television it must be...
I also read it somewhere. In fact, I wrote it down and I read it.
Is there a place that all this stuff comes from? Is there a somewhere?
Yes, the internet. That's where it comes from.
Right.
Would it make you more comfortable if I put this on the internet and then it would be true?
Then it would be true because it would be citable with a hyperlink.
Absolutely. Well, there have always been conspiracy theories and tall tales and urban legends and that sort of thing within the political world and without. But now we have this gigantic, massive churning, rumor-mongering machine, the biggest that's ever been invented by humans. And the internet is wonderful in terms of fracturing media into places where marginal viewpoints that couldn't previously get into the conversation can now get into the conversation. Yeah. But it also means that a lot of other marginal viewpoints that we would consider crazy are getting in and sticking around and never going away.
And that, I feel like that's the political dynamic that we went through, that in the early days of the post-John McCain Republican Party and conservative movement, I remember we would have like screen graphics that would say things about like, oh, the fringe is moving to the center.
Right.
Because the idea of believing conspiracy theories used to be a fringe thing.
Right.
But now there's no qualitative way to distinguish.
Well, I mean, you know, when Sarah Palin and John McCain both made an innuendo that Barack Obama was hanging around with domestic terrorists. Yeah. I mean, that's a serious accusation. Something you would expect to hear in the hullabaloo of a political campaign from low-level, sort of supporters. But from the candidate and vice presidential candidate, that was a real change. At least I sort of took a deep breath when that happened.
Because you would want the candidate and the vice president, the presidential and vice presidential candidate to serve as, if not leaders, at least arbiters of seriousness? Is that what you want?
Yeah,
you want them to be filters?
Because behind that innuendo is an incredibly serious assertion that the other person is a criminal.
Yeah.
And, John McCain did not look comfortable making that. But Sarah Palin looked very comfortable, and in no way was she punished for it, obviously.
Is there a way for truth to conquer fake facts? I feel like there's no way to talk to Steve King. There's no way to make that better.
Yeah, I mean, well, Steve King is a perfect example. He's afraid now that might be a big conservative conspiracy theory that he dare not refute for fear that he'd be told, oh, you don't believe in the truth, do you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of concern about these things because they are taken so seriously now. And look, I don't want to make a false equivalency. Anytime you have an echo chamber, in the left wing or right wing, these sort of like self-preserve, or, myths that require no evidence do crop up. But it does seem that the preponderance of it happens on the right wing, or at least I just said that on television. So therefore it's true.
And citable.
Yes.
How do you construct the perfect political fake fact?
Well, it has to have a ring of truth, or at least speak to what people are afraid of. Now, the Republicans created a very strong storyline from the beginning with President Obama, that he's an effete snob, profligate, and probably foreign, and maybe from another planet, right? So you have to tell something along those lines. If I were to tell you that I happen to know, for a fact, because I read it somewhere, that Barack Obama sleeps standing up while covered with moths, that's not going anywhere. That's crazy town, right? That makes no sense because it doesn't play into fears.
Right.
But if I were to tell you, did you know that Barack Obama spent $10 million of taxpayer money to the Jimmy Carter estate to get one of his old cardigans to use as a prayer rug on Air Force One? That's on the internet right now.
Right.
And the crazy thing about that, the thing about the moths is actually true.
Yeah. Exactly. And also something about which I am afraid it might work on the left.
Right.
Excellent. John Hodgman, fake fact expert, humorist, the author of More Information Than You Require, and an all-around pal of the show.
Oh, gosh. Thank you
John.
very much.
Nice to see you.
Oh, boy.